Of course, I've not tested any of this with a monitor plugged in, so hopefully it'll work. So this is Note to Self, this is us, and I'm going to cover this in 3 short parts. The first is the timetable of events that led this thing to happen. Then I'll show you the architecture and the things that we used. You might be able to tell from the box, the Happy Days API is the bit that we've been playing with this weekend. And then a couple of ideas on what this thing actually does. So this project, as you can tell from the rather snazzy user interface, began yesterday at 10:30. We had no idea what to do, and we had no idea who we'd be working with. And we bumped into each other and says, shall we build something? Yes, let's. What? Oh, I don't know. Haven't thought it through that far. So at 11 o'clock, we installed Meteor, because we thought that would be a really good idea. We can use this, it's Node, it's cool, it's funky. The problem is, I don't do Meteor. So at 11 o'clock, I started learning how to use Meteor.js. At 12 o'clock, we thought, well, we still don't know what we're doing yet. It's meant to be a TAD hack kind of thing, so there should probably be some telecoms. So we thought, OK, then, let's use the Happy Days API, and we'll do something that does some voice things. Well, it turns out I'm still trying to learn Meteor at this point, and I don't actually know the Happy Days API either. So I'm trying to learn 2 of these at the same time. And the Meteor general purpose example is a to-do list. So I thought, OK, then, how about if we combine the to-do list, which is normally text, with the voice of Happy Days to have a voice-based to-do list? This gradually changed, because at 1 o'clock, we had the idea of, well, why don't we put some geolocation into this? Only problem is I didn't know how to do geolocation, so at 1 o'clock I was learning geolocation code. And this was fine, because we thought, well, if you record a little voice message to yourself, you can have the geolocation remind you where it was. So if you're saying, pick up some of these Kit Kats because they're on special offer, the geolocation API will tell you you saw the Kit Kats were on special offer in Tesco's rather than Asda. And we thought this was a great idea. And then around 2 o'clock, we suddenly realized we didn't have any design whatsoever. So we started the design. The UI would actually look like that, but we didn't quite finish it. So it looks like that instead. Then at 3 o'clock, we thought, well, we've got this geolocation API. That's really great, but it's not very TAD hacky. So we thought, well, let's use the getUserMedia object to be able to store pictures as well as voice clips in the to-do list. And then we sort of said, yeah, we're really running out of ideas here, so we just finished building it. So what it is, the idea is it's a one-click system, and this is where I start getting really nervous because I have to do a live demo. So it's simple enough. You say, I'm going to create a note to self, and you click the Note to Self button. It does the whole usual, do you want to allow your microphone? Yes, and I say, hello to everyone in TAD Hackland, and stop said recording. Now, that's all using the Happy Days JavaScript API. That goes off to their server. They record some stuff. We have about 15 seconds worth of recording on here. My server then goes off to their server to grab that recording, because in order to retrieve that recording, you need a secret key. And when everything's being done in JavaScript, that secret key would be over the wire, and you really don't want anyone else getting hold of it. So our server toddles off, it grabs the image, it grabs the the recording, it transcodes it into OGG, which makes it friendly enough for HTML5 to play it back. And then when you press the play button here, it should play it back. Is that audible? Did that come out on the microphone? Yes, you can hear that from Dave. OK, so as you can see, it just does what it says. You know, you say, I want to make a new note to self. You click note to self, and it adds that line. Now, you can tell from the line it has my note, which is a bog standard piece of ordinary placeholder text. Soon, you'll be able to click on it and change it to say that was a note to pick up shopping or whatever. It has the geolocation in there, which is where we are right now. And it has the ability to play it back and image and photo. So if we click on image, it says, do you want to use your camera? If you stand in front of the camera, you've got to do some of the work. I then click the photo image to take an image of that. Click. That stores it. It uploads it to Imager, just because I happen to not know how Imager works. So I thought, well, I've only learned 4 technologies this weekend. Might as well learn another one. It uploads it to Imager, gets the URL back, replaces it in the database through Meteor, and then displays it on screen there. So far, there's no usernames or passwords on this, so anyone here could probably replace that image if they spot the URL. Fine. Unfortunately, we ran out of time to do some of the things that we'd like to have done, although we've got the design. One of the things we didn't have time for, as we said, is the UI. Something else we ran out of time for was the presentation. We didn't have time to do a PowerPoint, so it's written on the back of the lunchbox. Luckily, the cleaners haven't taken the lunchbox away yet, so I still have a presentation I can do. If anyone got bored and followed my tweets yesterday, they took the lunchbox away with the design on. We designed the whole UI on the back of the lunchbox. It was the biggest piece of paper in the building, and they took it away. So we had to redesign the UI again. So other things you can do. One of them, thanks, Philip. Oh, I should probably also mention, although the team is us, Philip was the Happy Days guru who's been helping us not only with their API, but also with Meteor. So some of the other things you can do. As we said, we want to have users in groups. So if there's several of you together, you know, either watching a lecture or something, you can be in the same group and you can all make notes in the same system. I think that would be quite cool. You could also have it so that if you return to a location, it reminds you then. Geolocation is already built in. One of the benefits of actually saying, I made this note at this longitude, this latitude, is when you return to it and go, oh, by the way, last time you were here, you said pick up Kit Kats. At which point it can remind you quite literally in your own voice. Also, if you say, I want to pick up Kit Kats at the cheapest possible price, and you suddenly see them in Asda, if you click the location, such as this one here, it goes off, gets the new geolocation tag, and sticks it in there instead. Unfortunately, none of this is going to work, since this building is not quite big enough to have a different location, but fair enough. Also, we had planned on adding the iSpeech transcription service, so we could change the static my text up there into the actual beginning of what you said. But as I said, we ran out of times, and I think 5 technologies for a weekend is probably enough for anyone. So that's all the stuff. I've mentioned the sponsors that let us use the API. I've mentioned that we're us, and I'm sure you're still able to. Has anyone else added anything onto there? Yes, that's probably it. I'd like it to be more impressive. I think that's the end. Thank you. Did I forget anything?